The camera's over there. What are you doing over there?
It's doing its job.
You mean all of these stupid things I'm saying right now are recorded for history?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
How'd you meet Grandma?
that's a good question. I'm not sure I remember.
Okay. He has one sister that invited us to go to church. It was actually mutual. After mutual, they had him there and we met.
Okay.
He had,
See, I didn't
he had
remember
on the
that.
most wrinkled t-shirt I have, a white wrinkled t-shirt I have ever seen.
And
And
you're
I
impressed
was
by it.
proud of it.
And shaved head, and he was this short.
How old were you?
I was probably, what, 26?
No. So
26.
you were probably 23.
Okay, 23.
Sorry.
Whatever she says is right.
Okay.
Had you already had the surgery on your arm at that time?
Yes, I'd had the surgery on my arm. My arm is basically what it is like now.
So Grandma, when did you decide that you wanted to marry him?
Never. It was not in my plans. I was going to beauty school, and that summer in June I graduated from beauty school, went to Gallup and went to work. So he had a little TR, nice, beautiful, good TR. I didn't care how much it cost. He drove down to Rama one weekend and spent the weekend there, and that was like 9 months after we had met the first time.
Yeah.
Were you religious before you?
No, she sicked the elders on me. She didn't sick
So you
them,
didn't
but
request
she
them.
talked me into having them come and talk. So I had enough of her to say, okay, yeah, I don't think they're going to do anything for me, but they did. They came before I told them I wanted to be baptized. It was about the third lesson. Yeah.
Okay.
The missionaries lived next door to the people I stayed with in Albuquerque. And I told the missionaries, make sure he doesn't join the church because of me, because I did not like him. I didn't like his looks. I didn't like anything about him.
And she still doesn't. Well, they came out to the house and they called, and I said, sure, come on out. And I knew I was going to wipe them out. I seriously did. I really did.
That's what I didn't like about him. He was so sure of himself.
It was just confident.
That got taken care of.
Yeah.
The missionaries came out to the house and started to teach me the lessons. And I thought, these guys, I'll blow them away. Because I was going to a Baptist church and I thought I knew it all in that respect. We didn't even really mention the Book of Mormon until the second time they came out. But they came out and we talked about Jesus Christ. Because thought I was a pretty stalwart Baptist member.
So he
They
had one
convinced me
lesson,
the first night.
very first lesson.
I'm sorry.
Don't cry.
Then you better shut it off because it's too precious. We talked about the gospel of Jesus Christ. Is what they
Eternal
talked about.
life.
Yeah, that also. But I was convinced to join the church.
It was the eternal life that got his goat.
Yeah, probably. Probably right. I can't remember. It's been so many years ago exactly. I can't remember.
I wasn't quite in the picture there.
No, really wasn't. And so anyway, they asked me, "Well, would your parents?" And I went and talked to my dad, and he said, "No."
What was your mother and your father's full names?
My dad's name is Walter Dale Daly. He was born in Nebraska. Grew up in Nebraska. In a little town called Bridgeport. My mother's name was Rita Faye Daly. Davis was her maiden name. She was born in Nebraska in a little larger town called Alliance. And they
eloped.
They eloped and got married. They fell in love and eloped and got married. And then my parents moved because there was no work in Nebraska, but Denver had a lot of openings for people. So they moved to out of Nebraska, and went to Denver. And my dad got a job there and did pretty well.
When you guys got married, was the goal to go to the temple, or is that something you were not ready for?
No, I knew I wanted to take her to the temple, but I had to wait a year. So she was nice enough to trust me that I wanted to go to the temple. And
He said to me, my mother and dad really want to come to the wedding,
yeah,
and if we go to the temple, they can't come to the wedding. So we got married in Ramah, that little chapel in Ramah, and everybody was so disappointed in Kathy. And
because she'd married this
non-member
non-member almost.
with one
yeah.
arm, my mother said, oh, "You'll have marbles." Her exact words.
And this is Grandma Gladys.
Yeah,
Gladys.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So when you guys first got married, you didn't live in Ramah, did you? You
No.
got married in Ramah?
No, because we got married in Ramah, but I was working for my dad at our brake service wholesale business that he had started and owned, and he was giving it over to me because he wanted to retire.
He was making $75 a week. I was working at the beauty school in Gallup. I mean, I was working in Gallup. I was making $75 a week.
Rich wife.
Yeah, you should bear your testimony. That'd be all right.
Okay, sure. Gospel of Jesus Christ. And it wasn't the mysteries that really converted me. It was my testimony of the truth. That's what the elders said.
Eternal life,
Not eternal life. In a way,
eternal marriage.
it was an eternal marriage, yeah. Because I'd always wanted to be married to a woman that I wouldn't have to leave by death. And so she convinced me to have the elders come in and talk to me. And that's all she did. She just said, well, I'll call the elders or something like that, and let them contact you. So she didn't do anything else after that in that respect. And they came out to the house. And they convinced me the first time. Because what they said was what I really believed.
And essentially that's his testimony.
Yeah.
I have a testimony of the gospel of Jesus Christ also. And it thrills me to be able to do this for you. Growing up, I had, our family was really close. My dad was a bishop for 3 years in Ramah, and but during that time we were taught the gospel and learned to pay tithing and so forth, and my dad used to recite poems, and one of the poems that he used to tell was one of the small jobs on the farm. He said that he used to kind of hate was climbing down off the wagon to open the pasture gate. That was a job that older folks seldom ever did. When they came to a gate, they'd say, "Climb down and open her, kid." Well, he'd wrestle with the thing, sometimes with a howl and a yell, to get that rusty wire off the crooked nail. When he got it off, he'd drag the gate around. After they drove the wagon through, he'd drag it back around. Now, the meanest thing about that job, he said, that gave him the biggest pain was climbing down off the wagon, or every half mile or so, he'd do it all over again. But you know, that same old job we've been doing from day to day, wrestling with the gates of life to open up a way. When I come to that one last gate, as if I'm rid of sin, I hope I'll hear St. Peter say, "Open her, gal, and come in."
Great poem, man. Love that. Okay.
He He's going to be 81 next month. I'm so proud of him.
Well, if I live that long, okay.
Oh, wow. That's awesome, though.
And I'm going to be 76.
Movie stars. There's a big difference.
Oh.
The paychecks reflect it.